Three, two, one. What's up, guys? Welcome to Caleb's Take in 2023. It is me, Caleb Betterton, ready to bring you the best, the hottest, the most amazing takes ever this year. And today I want to come in hot with an issue and a discussion about a travesty that took place at a wedding recently. And let me pull up the story real fast. So this happened at a wedding where a father of a bride, of course, didn't eat the wedding cake. And his daughter was very, very angry with him, saying he disrespected the wedding, he disrespected the family, he disrespected her husband, disrespected the entire ceremony by not eating the cake. And this is on Reddit. They posted it on Reddit. And all the Reddit users piled on this bride, saying that she should not treat her fall like this. Why is eating the cake so important? All this stuff, defending the father. And I just gotta say, all these people defending such a heinous act as not eating cake at a wedding should be ashamed of themselves and should be punished. I'm not sure how they should be punished, but they should be punished because rule number one of every wedding you go to, there's nothing better, first off, than wedding cake. You can ask anybody. You have birthday cake, you have random cake, you have everyday cake, but out of all the cakes out there, wedding cake is by far the best cake out there. There's no doubt about it. It's the best cake out there. And of course, you have your traditional wedding cake, the white cake. Then you have like your groom's cake, just use something different, something special. It's good too. But that wedding cake, that OG wedding cake is perfect. And for a father who claims to love his daughter, to blatantly show massive amounts of disrespect to not just his daughter, but to his new son-in-law and his family and every single guest who came that day, by denying wedding cake. Absolutely heinous. Horrible. This man should be banned from the next 3 Thanksgivings at least, and can only stay half a day on Christmas. All right? This is a heinous act here. And I think we need to start a GoFundMe for this bride and her family and her new husband, because this is unacceptable. And if any of you out there who listen to this show disagree with me on this, well, then I think it's time that you search your heart and look yourself in the mirror and realize, wait a minute, I'm in the wrong here. I need to correct myself, correct my mindset, because wedding cake is perfect, and going to a wedding and not eating the cake is one of the biggest disrespectful, most disrespectful, blatantly disrespectful things any one person can do, especially if you're the father of the bride. So again, all those people defending this father, saying that it's not a big deal, it's not a big deal eating the cake, you people are disgusting human beings, and I am so sorry for this bride here. So, my goodness. So coming up next, as we progress on in today's show, so throughout this next year on Caleb's Take, we're going to do some more series, do some more focused stuff on characters like that. So the first series that we're going to do today is on integrity, and we're going to be about building pillars. So stay tuned. Coming up next, coming in with a brand new series on building pillars in your life. We'll see you in a second. I lie, I cheat, I steal. Blast Eddie Guerrero's theme music, and the crowd goes wild. Pro wrestler Eddie Guerrero was one of those characters that got over with the fans, who was cheered by the fans because of his not so good character. He wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't a guy. He lived in the gray, and he did some things that weren't bad, but he was entertaining. He was funny, and people got behind him. We see this kind of character in all different types of literature, media, YouTube stars, whatever it may be, in entertainment, movies. Today, it's a type of character we see widely pushed and widely celebrated today. One whose character who likes to live in the gray. It's what's popular, while characters with strong moral traits tend to be painted a little bit vanilla by today's society. They're considered boring, overrated. They're not the fun character. They're not the character you laugh at. Not the character that you can relate with. They're usually the character you can't relate with whatsoever. But it's the characters who have a little bit of gray in their lives that you relate with. To kick off this year, as I said, we'll be doing a series on building pillars in your life. And we're going to start off today by talking about the pillar of integrity. You need to have a life filled with integrity. While most of the time, the characters with high morals are painted as vanilla, one of the greatest stories in wrestling history, one of the greatest matches in wrestling history, is about a man struggling to hold on to and keep his integrity. It was WrestleMania. The Undertaker was defending his undefeated streak at WrestleMania against Triple H. Triple H was trying to break that streak, not just for himself, because his best friend, Shawn Michaels, had lost to The Undertaker 2 years in a row, trying to break that streak. In fact, The Undertaker had retired Shawn Michaels, his best friend, from being able to ever compete again in the sport of pro wrestling. But what made this match interesting was that Shawn Michaels, who was Triple H's best friend and The Undertaker's biggest rival, was going to be the special guest referee for that match. And because of that, it caused a lot of questions. Would Shawn help Triple H win? Would he cheat? Or would he call it down the middle? What would Shawn do? What would Shawn do? Would he keep his counts consistent? Would he count faster for the 1, 2, 3 on Undertaker than he would Triple H? All these questions surrounding what would Shawn do? Or would he do the right thing and call it down the middle? In the first part of the match, we see, in fact, we barely even notice Shawn in the first part of the match, which is a good thing because he's a referee. He's not supposed to be noticed. He calls it fair. He's down the middle. He doesn't try to intervene. He doesn't try to do anything that's wrong or will cause issues. But something happens near the end of the first part of the match that plants the seed to what we would see next in the rest of the match. At one point, Shawn comes and trying to check on both The Undertaker and Triple H during the match. And we see The Undertaker shove Shawn in the face slightly. Now, nothing happens. Shawn just backs up, doesn't really phase by it. It seems like, okay, he's not gonna it's not gonna phase him, no big deal, but it plants the seed. It plants the seed about how Shawn would call the rest of this match. So for the first part of this match, Triple H is destroying The Undertaker to the extent that in a normal situation, the ref probably should call the match. Because that's how much brutality was being put on The Undertaker. But again, Shawn is not an impartial person. He is Triple H's best friend and the biggest rival of The Undertaker. So if he calls the match, there'll be questions whether or not he caught it too soon. Was he helping out his best friend? And so you see Shawn struggling, and the way Shawn Michaels betrays himself and shows himself, you see the conflict in his face. You see the conflict in his eyes, in his face, and the struggle. He's trying to think about it. Should I call this match? Should I ring the bell, say it's too much? He's beaten down too much. We got to stop it. But at the same time, you see, no, I can't do that because it'll look like, and maybe it will be subconsciously me helping out my best friend, but I want to do the right thing. I want to call this something else. So at one point, you see The Undertaker getting beat down, and Shawn says, "Give this up, give it up. I'm about to call it. Give it up, please. Just give it up." And Shawn stands there, and it looks like he's about to call the match over when The Undertaker grabs Shawn and he puts him in a submission move to put him unconscious. Triple H tries his best to get there fast enough and break it up, but at that point the damage had been done. Shawn was out of the match for a minute, and at this point The Undertaker begins to get the upper hand, and pretty soon he pins Triple H for a 1-2-3 count, but there's no referee. Shawn's been taken out by The Undertaker, so the referee comes running in, 1, 2, and he kicks out. Then something happens. After some more time, we see The Undertaker about to hit Triple H. Triple H punches him. The Undertaker turns around and boom, super kick from Shawn Michaels into a pedigree by Triple H. It looks like Shawn Michaels has taken out The Undertaker and as a referee, broken his integrity, and he counts to 1, 2, kick out. The Undertaker kicked out. And at this point, you see Shawn, realization of Shawn. He had let his emotions get the best of him. He had been attacked by The Undertaker, and he broke, he snapped, and he realized it at that moment. And he crawls to the corner, and he's just shaking, and you can see the conflict in his face, because he does want to do the right thing. He wants to be in the impartial, but he had just made a mistake, and it didn't cost him because The Undertaker had kicked out, but he's still struggling with that Undertaker. He had messed up, he had fallen. Well, the match goes on, and then we get to the point where The Undertaker tombstones Triple H. And he covers Triple H. And there's Shawn. Will he count the 1, 2, 3? And he counts 1, 2, and 3. And his best friend loses to his biggest rival. But Shawn ultimately did the right thing and counted out his best friend, Triple H, so his biggest rival could win. So the definition of integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles and moral uprightness. And we see in Psalms 41:11 it says, "I know that you are pleased with me, for my enemy does not triumph over me. Because of my integrity you hold up me and set me in your presence." If you want to be in God's presence, if you want to get a hold of God, if you want to know that you're on the right path, that you're going to be upheld by God, walk with integrity. It's so important we have integrity. Again, today's world likes to push out characters that lack integrity and make them seem like they're the ones that have the cool story. They're the ones who have the interesting lives. But in reality, this story of Shawn Michaels struggling with his conscience, struggling with his self, with his moral beliefs, because he wants to do the right thing as a referee. He's a good guy, but then he has this conflict of this trial of his best friend and his biggest rival, and they're fighting, and he's responsible to decide who the winner is. And he could ruin it. He could cheat and help his best friend win. And we see the emotions get the best of him for a moment when he's super kicked the Undertaker. But at the end of the day, he got back up, he made it right, and counted out his best friend. And we never know how strong our integrity is until it's tested. And in this match, Shawn Michaels' integrity was tested. It was tested. And sometimes in our lives, our integrity will get tested. And sometimes, like Shawn, the emotions, the environment, whether we're too tired, it's weakness, whatever it may be, sometimes those things are the best of us, and we lose our integrity. If we're all honest, at some point in our lives, we've all fallen and lost our integrity. We haven't kept our moral principles. We've all fallen, but the key is to get back up. The Bible says a righteous man falls 7 times. When he falls, he gets back up. And when we get back up, we make it right. And Shawn made it right. And today's culture, the world is pushing a lack of integrity. But this generation can be a generation of integrity. We can get back up and make it right when we mess up. And next time, do the right thing. The world today lacks integrity. But this generation can change that. You can defy the world and rebel against the influence of the world and be different. You want to be different? You want to be a rebel? You want to be set apart from the crowd? Have integrity. It's difficult. It's not. Emotions can get the best of you. You can get tired. You can be weak. You can have a moment and you can fail. But integrity makes sure you get back up and you don't give up. And then you get back up and you do the right thing and you follow God and you get back on top of your moral principles. And you can build your life on a strong pillar. Because that's what this next series is on. Building strong pillars in life. And build a pillar of integrity in your life. I recently read a book, or I listened to an audiobook called I Am Legend. And basically the premise of the book is a disease goes with the world, basically making people vampires. And it's about this one guy who's kind of the last, he's the last human left. For like a spoilers here. So spoiler, there might be some spoilers here. I'm sorry. You should be more cultured. It's not my fault you're not cultured. I'm sorry. And he finally gets caught by these vampires. And he's about to be executed. And the book was of him saying, because you think about it, vampires were the legends throughout the world history. They're the legends. They're the ones who they're mysterious. They don't make sense. They're not normal. And at this point, the last human, the last man who wasn't a vampire, who didn't have this disease, he was not a legend. He was the ones that the vampires were scared of. They didn't know anything about him. He was the different one. He was the one that was mysterious. And the book wraps up with him saying, everything goes full circle. And now I am legend. The Christians today, the ones who have integrity, are the legends now. They're not the normal, because the world is no longer a world of integrity. You who have integrity, you are the legend now. You are the ones who are different. Be different. Be set apart. Have integrity. Be the legend. Build a pillar of integrity in your life today. Next up, we got a short story for you. Hope you enjoy it. We'll catch you next time. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed today's take. Before I go, I want to plug a few things real fast. If you want to follow us on social media, with Twitter, it's at Betterton_Caleb for my personal Twitter account. For the Synergist account, it's at SynergistMG. So check out our Twitter page. For Instagram, it's at Real Synergist and at Caleb_Betterton for my personal one. Also, if you want to give us a message, you want to send us a message, give us some feedback, or just let us know how we're doing, tell us we're doing a good job, or just have questions for us, want another podcast, whatever it may be. If you want to contact us, go to email us at synergistmg@gmail.com. Also, pretty soon, again, we're about to launch a membership. And on that membership, one of the cool things about the membership is you'll get to watch the full extended version of Caleb's take completely through. Watch it all if you're a member. So that's coming out soon. So just keep your ears peeled, your eyes tuned for that membership coming soon. Also, don't forget to leave a review and a rating. If you want to watch any of our videos, any of our clips, again, you can do it on social media, or you can go to our YouTube page at www.youtube.com/@therealgist20. That's www.youtube.com/@therealgist20, and that'll take you to our YouTube page. You can watch some clips of our show and see more of our content. So don't forget to leave a review and a rating. 5 stars every time, baby. We'll see you next time. God bless. Be a legend. Be different. Have integrity. We'll come back again to help build another pillar in your life.